how does an agent know why they are being referred? That's hows and whys in the same sentence. And then how do they figure that out?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And it is so very powerful. Actually, we do this 4-day challenge inside our free Facebook group, Referrals Without Asking. The number one thing that we have them do when they come in on that day one of that challenge is they have to know why they're referred, and they're not allowed to assume, which means you typically have got to go ask somebody why they refer you. And it is powerful because people will tell, like, I'll ask, like, when we're live that day, I'll be like, why do you think you're referred? And I'll hear and it's all about their technical skills. It's all about, they're so good at this and they're so good at that. And they answer these questions and they know more about it. They got more acronyms after their letters, right? It's like alphabet soup after their names. And these are all the reasons why people, and then they will say, and because they know I'll take care of their people. And so there is some of the softer stuff that's in there too, but it's typically focused on the thing that does not differentiate you to your referral source, right? I mean, insurance is insurance. Financial advising is financial advising, right? I mean, these are not, this is why they think they're referred, but I should be getting that from anybody I decide to do business with, right? Or that I decide to refer to if that's the reason. And then I was like, okay, we're not going to base this on an assumption. Now go ask. And I just tell them to pick the last person who referred them. Some people have to think back a week. Some people have to think back a year. And then I give them the language of what it looks like to do the asking, because we want them to say why they picked you over anybody else they could pick. Why you? I don't want the answer to be, oh, because you do a good job. I want it to be about why you, not why you insurance agent, right? But why you. And the responses, they never see coming. And it doesn't matter if I have 10 people in this challenge or 200 people in this challenge, the answers are all the same. And they typically all have the same number one reason that they're referred.
So I'm interested. Okay. So let's say you've got, you're talking to the agency, in your insurance world. Do you talk specifically about, I'll get it out here in a second, the agent itself or the agency of why it's referred? Or is it two different questions?
So I always do it from the ask why they refer you, because your agency isn't actually referred. The agent is, whether it's the owner who's been getting all the referrals forever, or now you have a sales team and you want your sales folks, your producers, to be able to receive referrals. Those referrals are coming from a person to a person. So we ask the question of why do you refer me? Now, me could be you are the agency, right? Because you're a solo producer, right? Or it could be why do you refer me? And it's more agency based, but it's still because they trust you. And that's the number one answer. And it's always funny to me when people start posting their responses from that day one homework. And they're like, because they trust me, because they said they can trust me, because they know I'll do a good job and they trust me. And then I highlight it and everyone's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, and that brings the question out. They refer you because they trust you. They could refer anybody. And more than likely, you're a dime a dozen. You're in a dime a dozen industry, right? I mean, how many insurance agents are there? How many financial advisors? Right. It doesn't matter how many attorneys are there. There's so many. And so from that perspective, they refer you because they trust you. And that is personal. And that trust is personal, right? And so it means that it has to be maintained in a personal way while you're building a deeper relationship with that referral source. Here's the thing. A referral is never about you. You have to do your part to keep receiving them. And you are a part of like the cast of characters, right? You are one of the players, but a referral is about your referral source helping someone they know who has a problem, and how they're going to solve it is they're going to refer them to you. That's how the referral source gets to be the hero. So they have to trust you, of course, to be able to refer you to the prospect. But your only thing you know in a referral relationship is who the referral source is, because you don't control opportunity for them to refer you. You just have to make sure you're always there in a way that works for strengthening and deepening that relationship in a way that is not weird, right? And follows the right cadence so that they continue to trust you. And truth is, people always think trust comes because I do a great job. I'm like, yes, and. There's a huge and, right? There are some people that I trust that I actually don't know what their what their client experience looks like on the back end, but I trust them. And so that's why I refer to them. But it's not because I've ever been a client. It's not because I actually know, right? But there's a trust factor there. And that's what we have to focus on. And that is only going to come from deeper relationships. And so that's what my strategy is around, helping you build the right type of relationships that are not time intensive. So you're not taking people to coffee every other week, right? And allow you to be your authentic self in the process.